Chapter 108, Living with Senior Sister Apprentice Duanmu. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. Ziqian grasped the handle of her sword and stabbed immediately. She transferred genuine chi into the sword and activated the 11 inscriptions at the same time, setting off a 2-meter-high purple ray of light. Instantly, the cold tip of her sword was pointing at Huang Yanjun. Ziqian was a genius among the killers. Her vision, hearing, and speed were all far better than that of the other warriors in the same realm. She clearly understood that she was facing a profound division warrior, so she would need to kill her with a single attack, or else she would be the one who died in this fight. Yet, Huang Yanjun did not expect Ziqian's reaction to be so violent. She was still shocked that Ziqian's sword was just 3 inches away from her heart. She thought, I just broke down a door, why did she try to kill me? After all, Huang Yanjun was a profound division warrior, and she was much stronger than Ziqian. She stretched out 2 of her fingers quickly and formed strings of shadow. She then deftly nipped Ziqian's sword and destroyed all her power. What's wrong with you? Are you trying to kill me? Huang Yanjun gazed at Ziqian coldly and flicked her slightly. She unleashed the genuine chi from her fingertip and attacked Ziqian's sword. Clap. Ziqian felt bitter pain in her arms as a blood rip appeared on her hand. Her sword flew out from her hand and stuck into the wall. Even Ziqian wasn't able to withstand Huang Yanjun's single attack. Zhang Yuochen realized that he must save Ziqian. He chose the best opportunity, which was when she had just thrust out her sword, to strike Huang Yanjun's back with his palm. Boom! When he unleashed a full-force palm strike, a powerful genuine chi wave spread out in all directions. However, Huang Yanjun stood still and did not move an inch. A wind power appeared on her back, nullifying Zhang Yuochen's power. Incredible. Once a profound division warrior has obtained the defensive power, I couldn't hurt her even she stood still and let me attack freely. Zhang Yuochen winked at Ziqian, hinting that she should escape. Ziqian worried about Zhang Yuochen and looked towards him. Huang Yanjun wanted her but not Zhang Yuochen, so he would be safe for now. She then turned into a purple shadow and flew out of the window. Zhang Yuochen was surprised that Huang Yanjun did not chase after Ziqian. She glowered at Zhang Yuochen with a cold look and said, "Rogue, you used this strike again. Did you really think that it would work again?" Zhang Yuochen withdrew his palms and stepped back to the window where Ziqian escaped to stop Huang Yanjun from chasing after her. Zhang Yuochen hated being called a rogue. He said, "Senior Sister Apprentice Huang, you should understand that I attacked you out of necessity. Since Junior Sister Apprentice Z has already left, and I'm not strong enough to fight you, tell the Lord of the campus that I'm willing to admit my mistake and bear the consequences any time." After listening to him, Huang Yanjun felt a little better. She said, "I'm not narrow-minded, so there is no need to tell the Lord of campus. Remember, don't bring women into Dragon Martial Temple at will. Don't ruin its reputation." After that, she left with her sword in her hand, leaving Zhang Yuochen standing there shocked. And she just let Ziqian go like this? Zhang Yuochen didn't believe it. Ziqian was a Hades department killer, while Huang Yanjun was a Lord of Western Campus disciple. How could she let her go? "Senior Sister Apprentice Huang, have you decided to let Junior Sister Apprentice off?" Zhang Yuochen asked as he caught up to her. Huang Yanjun turned around and chuckled. "As you didn't do anything wrong, I let you go. If you do it again, you'll surely have to take the consequences." Watching her leave, Zhang Yuochen realized what she actually meant. She thought that Zhang Yuochen and Ziqian were having a stealthy love affair. It was just a misunderstanding. Fortunately, it was only a false alarm. Zhang Yuochen took a deep breath and ran in the direction Ziqian had left. Suddenly, something flashed into his mind. Ziqian had nearly escaped from Western Campus when Zhang Yuochen caught up with her. Zhang Yuochen told her what Huang Yanjun had said to him. Having realized it was a misunderstanding, Ziqian was relieved. If Huang Yanjun discovered her real identity, she would have no choice but to disappear from Western Campus. Since she had not revealed her identity, she did not need to leave Western Campus anymore. If she did leave the campus, Huang Yanjun might find it suspicious. Her imagination is really rich. By the way, even if you and I had an affair, it would be none of her business. Ziqian felt confused and stared at Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen kept calm and said, There was a misunderstanding between us. Maybe, it's my fault. Ziqian sneered at what Yuo Chen said. She replied, well, it wasn't a small misunderstanding to me. After all, Senior Sister Apprentice Huang is a profound division warrior. Someone with her powerful cultivation would never bother with something trivial. Ziqian had no expression on her face, but her eyes were slightly angry. She said, if she didn't care about what happened between us, she wouldn't have broken into yellow number 1 rashly and cut up the door. Zhang Yuochen knew what Ziqian meant. He said, she has a lot of bias against me, so it was natural for her to be so explosive. It's none of my business. Ziqian turned and walked away without looking back. Take care of yourself in this month. Your head belongs to me. Don't die under someone else's sword. Zhang Yuochen's countenance became serious as he watched her walk away. The bounty on his head was worth 3,300,000 silver coins. Even the martial arts legends of the Heaven Realm were interested in a bounty so high. Numerous Hades department killers were certain to try for Zhang Yuochen's head. With his current cultivation, he had the ability to cope with warriors of the profound stage's final state. Yet, what if he encountered the assassinates of the completion of the Black Realm or the Earth Realm? Zhang Yuochen smiled as an idea suddenly occurred to him. When he went back to Dragon Martial Temple, he saw that the loft where he lived had collapsed and that the broken door and 2 columns cut down by Huang Yanshan had become ruins. Seeing the wreckage, he said, Blackie, let's go to the number 1 of titled Black. Zhang Yuochen crossed his arms behind his back and walked towards Black number 1. Blackie followed him on his back paws while he lugged a heavy book in his front paws. When Duanmu Xingling realized why Zhang Yuochen had come, she was aghast. Are you going to live here for a month? Zhang Yuochen could not tell her that killers would hunt him in this month and that he came to her for shelter. He just smiled bitterly and said, Senior Sister Apprentice Huang has just destroyed yellow number 1, and I have no place to stay. I'm afraid I have to ask for your help. Would let me stay here? Duanmu Xingling felt very excited and thought, Sister Chen fought off the beautiful freshman, but I reap the reward. Now I'm in a favorable position. Of course, I will accept this handsome man happily. She answered quickly, of course you can stay. You won't bother me at all. Duanmu Xingling then led Zhang Yuochen into Black number 1. Black number 1 was spacious. Duanmu Xingling quickly tidied up the room next to hers. She said, Zhang Yuochen, you can live here. I'm just right next to you. We will have to exchange and communicate more with each other about martial arts in the future. Although my martial arts realm is higher than yours, your realm of swords technique is better than mine. If I have spare time, I'll surely ask for advice about the secret of practicing the sword technique. By the way, have you brought your things? Zhang Yuochen laughed. All my luggage is on me. Duanmu Xingling was shocked when Zhang Yuochen took out pieces of luggage from the time and space spinel and put them in the room. A space treasure? She asked. She stared at his time and space spinel with astonishment and envy. Every space treasure was priceless. That's right. Zhang Yuochen smiled faintly and said generously, if you want, I can give you one. You have other space treasures? Duanmu Xingling was stunned. Her eyes widened. She suspected that Zhang Yuochen was lying. A warrior with a space treasure was already quite amazing, not to mention having a second one. How could anyone give away a treasure so precious? Zhang Yuochen chuckled. He asked, do you want a spatial ring or spatial bangle? When Duanmu Xingling understood what he meant, she thought, is there more than one treasure? Duanmu Xingling stared into his eyes as if she were judging whether his words were true. After looking at his serious look, she grinned. If possible, I want a spatial bangle. Can you really create another space treasure? Come to me tonight and I'll give you a spatial bangle, Zhang Yuochen said. He thought, all in all, I'm here for shelter. One day, I may need her help to cope with killers. I should give her some gifts to express my gratitude. It only took him a little while to refine a spatial bangle that was priceless to Duanmu Xingling. After Duanmu Xingling left, Zhang Yuochen began to refine it. Firstly, he put an excellent jade bracelet on the table. Then, he carved 8 basic space inscriptions on it. Within only 15 minutes, he had finished carving all 8 basic inscriptions. The internal space of the spatial ring Zhang Yuochen refined last time was only 12 cubic meters. Now, it had expanded to 24 cubic meters because he had upgraded his cultivation 2 realms. Zhang Yuochen thought, since I'm refining one space treasure, why don't I refine more? After 2 hours, he had carved another 2 spatial bangles and 2 spatial rings, all of which were 24 cubic meters. Zhang Yuochen then entered time and space spinal's internal space and put them into the weapon refining stove. He had finished refining 5 space treasures by the time Duanmu Xingling visited him again that night.